Emergency Mobilization Commission meeting. Today is October 18th, 2022, and the time is 1:03. So let us please begin. Good afternoon again and welcome to our regular City of Los Angeles Climate Emergency Mobilization Commission. My name is Jacqueline Baldejo, and I am the president of the commission. Today, I will be serving as the chair presiding over this meeting. To begin with this meeting, we will establish a quorum for today by taking roll call. And for the record, I would like to note that we have multiple excused absences. We have absences from the following commissioners: Directo, Gutierrez, Armenta, M. Martinez, and L. Martinez. So that's a total of 5 excused absences for this meeting. Okay, so I would like to ask Ms. Sangalang from the staff to please call roll to confirm if we have a quorum to present.
Excuse me, President Badejo, I think, is this the moment, City Attorney, that we should make the statement about, okay, so the quorum? President Badejo, did you want to go ahead and make the statement about the needing the quorum for the rest of the meeting?
Yeah, now is an appropriate time.
Yeah, great.
So yes, for the rest of the meeting, we need a quorum. And for the record, all commissioners, if your camera is off, is considered being absent from the meeting. So please keep that in mind. And then also, that's pretty much what we have. We want to make sure that we establish the quorum before move forward.
I think in addition to that, we just, because we have just enough people for a quorum, if anybody were to need to leave for an emergency or what have you, then we would ideally want to find for AB 361 before your departure. But we really encourage you to stay for the entire meeting until we finished all the items, since we don't have one commissioner to spare. So I appreciate that. Thank you, President Badejo.
Sorry, just as a point of order, I just need to clarify, if you have if there's an emergency or you need to leave and you did not receive any prior approval, then please just announce to the meeting that you are leaving so that we know, we can keep track of who's present. And if we have less than a quorum, I think at this point, if 2 more commissioners leave the meeting, then we have less than a quorum and we will not be able to conduct any further business. And if that's the case, we might need to have another special meeting in order to finish off any unfinished business. So please be aware of the fact that you know, your presence is strongly encouraged, and you know, we want to minimize any disruptions to the flow of the meeting. So,
yes, thank you. Yeah, and we're definitely grateful for all of you here today. President Badejo.
Yes, thank you guys so much for clarifying the information regarding the quorum. And so I would like to now ask Ms. Sangalang to please call the roll to confirm a quorum.
Commissioner Rudy Ortega Jr.
Here.
President Jacqueline Badejo.
Present.
Commissioner Michael Martinez. Absent. Commissioner Oscar Monge.
Present.
Commissioner Monica Mejia.
Present.
Commissioner Luis Angel Martinez. Absent. Commissioner Dora Frize Armenta. Absent. Commissioner Alfonso Directo Jr. Absent. First Vice President Antonio Sanchez.
Present.
Commissioner Jill Johnston.
Present.
Commissioner Ross Dellen.
Present.
Second Vice President Daniel Ferguson.
Present.
Commissioner Lindsay Rose Madoff. Absent. Commissioner Michelle Gutierrez. Absent. Commissioner Imelda Padilla.
Present.
Commissioner Jocelyn Duarte. Absent.
Mhm.
President Badejo, we currently have 9 commissioners. So we did not establish a quorum right now.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Huh, yep, we have 9. What we could potentially do, President Badejo and City Attorney Lindsay, is maybe we can email one of the commissioners that said that they're only available by phone, so that we could at least do the finding for AB 361, or potentially have them stay for some of the meeting. Let me see if Rebecca, do you have Michael Martinez's phone number handy to call him or text him?
Yes.
See if he can call in.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, if he's only available by phone, that satisfies the Brown Act requirements for a quorum. So that's
Okay.
participate by phone, that's fine.
I'm also going to try to email him while Rebecca's texting him. Also, President Badejo, for the record, we did not get an email for excusing absences from Lindsay Rose Madoff or Jocelyn Duarte. That's why we anticipated having quorum today.
Right. Thank you.
Should we provide like a time frame for him to call in and then establish next steps if he does not?
Executive Director Segura,
Yes,
I just saw that Commissioner Lindsay Rose Madoff signed in.
perfect. Great.
Hello.
Okay, thank you.
City
will-
Attorney, can I just call that role for her? And that's okay? Okay. Commissioner Lindsay Rose Madoff,
Here, present.
So at this point, we're 1 member short of a quorum.
We are. Is it 10?
Sorry,
We just added one more, so we're at 10.
are we at 10? Is somebody calling in? Because I don't see a,
No, Lindsay Rose Madoff just
right, no, but the commissioner who is going to call in by phone.
he has not, so we're at 10.
Okay,
yes, President Badejo, we have a quorum with 10 commissioners present.
You're on mute, Commissioner Badejo.
I'm so sorry. Please forgive me. Thank you. And I was just saying, let's quickly note the ones who are absent. We have Commissioner Director Gutierrez, Armenta, M. Martinez, L. Martinez, and also it was, let's see, Durage.
The last one was Commissioner Jocelyn Duarte.
Yes, okay, thank you.
Mhm.
Okay, I have it for my records as well. And so also we will note that 3 commissioner seats are currently vacant. So thank you very much, Ms. Sangalang. And so to confirm, we have 10 members present and 6 absent. And now that we have established a quorum, I can call the meeting to order. Commissioners, if you wish to make a comment during the meeting, please use the virtual raise hand feature in the Zoom by clicking on the raise hand button in the navigation of the Zoom. I will try to address commissioner comments in an orderly fashion. And as a reminder, the internal chat function has been disabled. I will also note that we have Spanish language interpretation available for this meeting, which you can access in the Zoom by clicking on the language interpretation button. And then when you go there, that's where you can select English or Spanish. If you are choosing Spanish, make sure you select the mute original audio, so you will only hear the Spanish audio.
Mhm.
So now we will move to agenda item number 2, which is the public comment period. And so today I will ask Ms. Guerrero Day from the staff to please let me know if we have any callers in the queue for general public comment or for public comment on a particular item listed on the agenda.
Thank you, President Badejo. I see that we currently have 3 members of the public in attendance. Members of the public, if you wish to give public comment, please use the raised hand function by pressing *9 on your phone's keypad. So to be clear, if any members of the public who are in attendance today wish to provide public comment on any of the agenda items or any of the other topics within the commission's purview, please press *9 to raise your hand, and we will identify you, ask you to unmute and identify the items that you wish to speak on, and the president will address you. So otherwise, if members of the public who are in attendance do not wish to give public comment, I will continue to monitor the line to see if anyone joins for at least 3 minutes. Since our meeting is occurring by teleconference, which is permitted by a special provision in the Brown Act, excuse me, that was recently enacted through AB 361 during the COVID pandemic, we are required to provide a reasonable amount of time for the public to register and log in to bring up their public comments at this teleconference meeting. Excuse me. So we will keep the public comment period open for 3 minutes to see if any members of the public wish to provide comments. If you would like to log in or call in, please listen to the instructions next. The call-in number to make public comment is 1-669-900-6833. That number is listed on the agenda and can be found on the commission's website. That information is also located on the agenda. Again, that number is 1-669-900-6833. I'll now review the instructions for providing public comment that are provided in the agenda. So again, members of the public who wish to offer verbal public comment should dial 1-669-6833 and use Zoom meeting ID number 928-7095. I see that there is a hand raised by the interpreter. I want to ensure that we're addressing that, President Badejo.
Yes, please proceed.
Yes, and also, yeah, we do have interpretation available if any members of the public wish to provide comments in Spanish. Again, to give public comment, please use the raise hand function. So President Badejo, 3 minutes have passed since you asked for public comments, which is a reasonable amount of time to call in to present public comments. We do not have any members of the public who have raised their hand to be identified for public comment. Therefore, I recommend the meeting would proceed.
Okay, awesome. Let's see. So I now close the time for public comment and move to the next item on the agenda. Agenda item number 3, approval of minutes for September 20th, 2022, regular meeting. The next item on the agenda is approval of these minutes. And I would like to ask, well, it's items for discussion and action. So I will request a motion and second to approve the minutes if there are no comments or questions from the commissioners. Okay, I don't see any hands raised at this time. Will anyone like to motion and second this agenda item for approval?
I so move.
Thank you. Does any commissioner, do you second approving the minutes from September 20th, regular meeting?
Second.
Thank you very much. So we have a motion. Was that you, Ortega? Commissioner Ortega? Okay, so motion by Ortega and second Vice Chair Ferguson. Ms. Sangalain, can you please call the roll?
Yes, Commissioner Rudy Ortega Jr.,
Yes.
President Jacqueline Badejo,
Yes.
Commissioner Michael Martinez, absent. Commissioner Oscar Monje,
Yes.
Commissioner Monica Mejia,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Angel Martinez, absent. Commissioner Dora Fritze Armenta, absent. Commissioner Alfonso Directo Jr., absent. First Vice President Antonio Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Jill Johnston,
Yes.
Commissioner Ross Zellin,
Yes.
Second Vice President Daniel Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lindsay Rose Midoff,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle Gutierrez, absent. Commissioner Imelda Padilla,
Yes.
Commissioner Jocelyn Duarte, absent. President Badejo, the motion passes with 10 ayes and 5 absences. Oops, I'm sorry, 6 absences.
Awesome, thank you. So we confirmed that for the record. 10 ayes, 6 absences, no abstentions or nays. Okay, we will close that agenda item and move forward to agenda item number 4, findings to continue teleconference meetings pursuant to Assembly Bill 361. So this item is for discussion and action, and I will ask Ms. Guerrero Day from the staff to read the findings into the record.
Thank you, President Badejo. The findings are as follows. The Climate Emergency Mobilization Commission hereby finds and determines in accordance with AB 361, Section 3E3, that the state of emergency due to the COVID-19 pandemic, as originally proclaimed by the governor on March 4th, 2020, remains active, and or that state or local officials have imposed or recommended measures to promote social distancing, and that the circumstances of the state of emergency continue to directly impact the ability of the members to meet safely in person, and or state or local officials continue to impose or recommend measures to promote social distancing. Staff recommends approving a motion that adopts these findings.
Thank you very much, Ms. Guerrero Day. Now I would like to invite any commissioner to make a motion and second the motion to adopt the findings.
I make a motion to adopt the findings.
Thank you.
Second.
So that was
Mejia.
Commissioner Mejia and First Vice President Sanchez, I believe.
Correct.
Thank you. Okay, Ms. Sangalang, may we please take the roll?
Commissioner Rudy Ortega Jr.,
Yes.
President Jacqueline Badejo,
Yes.
Commissioner Michael Martinez, absent. Commissioner Oscar Monje,
Yes.
Commissioner Monica Mejia,
Yes.
Commissioner Luis Angel Martinez, absent. Commissioner Dora Frize Armenta, absent. Commissioner Alfonso Directo Jr., absent. First Vice President Antonio Sanchez,
Aye.
Commissioner Jill Johnston,
Yes.
Commissioner Ross Stellin,
Yes.
Second Vice President Daniel Ferguson,
Yes.
Commissioner Lindsay Rose Madoff,
Yes.
Commissioner Michelle Gutierrez, absent. Commissioner Imelda Padilla,
Yes.
Commissioner Jocelyn Duarte, absent. President Badejo, the motion passes with 10 ayes, 0 noes, 0 abstentions, and 6 absences.
Thank you very much. That is noted for the record. Now we will be moving to agenda item number 5, mission of the Climate Emergency Mobilization Commission. This item is for discussion only. And so here we'll discuss the value of the creation of the mission statement and goals as an advisory board, please forgive me. We will table the development for a later time, and we can discuss how we can co-create with the commission. And so now I open the floor for the discussion.
Mhm. So may I give a little more context? This commission has not created its own mission statement. So this is an opportunity to provide some brainstorming or discussion on how we will go about creating a mission statement, what you feel could be part of the mission statement. Well, we should probably measure how long we talk about this, because we could table it for another time to actually truly co-create like the mission statement, but we need a procedure for it, and we need your thoughts on how we will go about creating that mission statement.
Thank you, Executive Director. I see Monica Mejia, Commissioner. Please speak. You have the floor.
Hey, everybody. So I kind of wanted to discuss this topic because I after our last meeting, I was sort of confused by the instructions that we've received as to what our role is as a commission. At some point, I thought that once we made the recommendation of the report to the city council, that our role would be done. I literally thought that, well, maybe is that it? I wasn't sure, right? And so I thought, do we now adjourn and we're done? But it turns out that this commission was created by our city council, and it actually has a longer life. And so then I asked, well, what is the purpose of the commission? What are we going to continue to advise the city council on? And there is a city council ordinance that creates the commission, and we might go to that. I'd like to see that and kind of see what the council envisioned when they created the commission. And so that will kind of help me understand what we're supposed to do with our role as this commission. And then before even asking the council what they wanted, I sort of, I had kind of come up with my own. I came up with my own about 3 months ago when I first was asked to be on the commission, I assumed at the time that our role was to advise the council on how they would implement the Green New Deal, which was signed by our city and our mayor. Even though the president of the United States didn't sign it, many other countries signed it and many other cities signed it, like the city of Los Angeles did. And for example, the city of Paris signed it. And when the city of Paris signed it, then they oriented their entire city operations, all departments oriented towards a greenhouse gas approach, an approach to limit greenhouse gases to achieve the targets of the Paris Accords. And that our commission was intended to create an equity overlay on that Green New Deal challenge. And that's what I thought our commission was supposed to do. But I realized that, in the last 3 months that I lost track of really what the mission is that we're supposed to do. And so I kind of wanted to go back to a couple of different, both the source, one of the sources is what the city council approved, and then also to ask the other commissioners what they had envisioned and see if we can kind of come up with something that we think makes sense.
Yeah,
Thank you.
No, I want to invite commissioners to freely brainstorm and not restrict themselves to what the ordinance says at the moment. We can always go back to the ordinance later, but I wanted just to be more of a free thought process.
Yes, thank you. We also have another raised hand. Well,
Sorry, I'm getting used to the raising hand in this space, and being called in to speak. I think I'll just thank you, Commissioner Mejia. I'm trying to think back about the reasons of being asked, and I did more reading on like what sparked the idea of having a commission like this one. And I remember seeing more materials around folks that are doing more climate justice work on the ground, like folks that are, frontline organizers. And so in the path forward in creating a mission for our commission, I'm also thinking about like those folks that were pushing for the commission to be created in the first place. And I feel like I want to say, like, I want to limit our own abilities to confirm a commission that is not grounded on its starting point. Like I want to be able to engage with folks outside of this space and see, what they were expecting this commission to be like. I know that we have some limitations, and I guess I was not present in the conversations of like in one of the previous conversations. There was like some I guess I think with Commissioner Mejia, I think in the last meeting there was like some misunderstandings on like what our roles were. I think another commissioner described like what is our role, right? And there was those conversations. I missed the more of like the longer conversation that happened, but I kind of picked up on that in the last meeting. And so I know that we have some limitations because of being, it's a government setting. But I do want to find ways that we hear more from folks on the ground, and that we don't confirm something that is not grounded on, that have, that they have not yet heard of, right? Or if we do think about creating a draft, that we make that attempt to engage with those folks. So that's where I'm coming from.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Do we have any more discussion for this item?
We have Commissioner Imelda Padilla with a raised hand.
Awesome. You have the floor, Commissioner Padilla.
Hi, everyone. It's the day that I don't want to show my face because of all the crying I've been doing, that you guys make the rule that I'm absent if I don't put the camera. So I just want to apologize for that. But anyways, related to this, I think it's a very good idea to think through what a mission statement is. I think everybody kind of felt that in the last couple of meetings. And I don't know if my recommendation right now is maybe going to come off as recommending a lot of work, but I'm a big fan of retreats with groups, right? Like, I don't know if it's possible where there could be a separate time where everybody can get together. And as Commissioner Monke mentioned, like, it sounds to me like he wants to go back to the field and then bring back like an idea. I think that's great. You know, I think that's very important. But yeah, it's just my recommendation is find a space outside of a formal meeting setting where everybody can be asked questions in terms of goals and vision, and actually, you know, put some stuff up onto butcher papers and they cut down to develop a mission statement. So that's just my quick recommendation in terms of a potential process.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner Padilla. All right, we have a few more minutes left for this item. If somebody else would like to make a comment or a recommendation on next steps for deciding on the mission statement.
Commissioner Zelle.
Oh, thank you, President Badejo. You know, I want to keep my comments, you know, narrow. You know, I think that the City Council was incredibly empowering by trying to give the Climate Emergency Mobilization Commission a broad range. You know, some really large and important and critical topics for us to grapple with. But I think, you know, if anything, you know, I mean, within our mission, we should really come together as a commission and pick one or two key issue areas, whether it's equitable building decarbonization, whether it's extreme heat, which I know our executive director also serves as the chief heat officer for the city. You know, I think there are some, we could spend our entire lifetimes learning all about these incredible issues and these important issues, but I'm interested in maybe if we can come together and within our mission statement and our framework, say, these are a couple key issues that we want to focus our efforts around, work with community groups and create that advisory board platform to uplift the issues that we're seeing in our community, whether it's you know, with the equity issues that are going to be faced as we try to address these climate emergencies, or if it's accessibility, language justice, those types of things that that make up our vast, broad, and diverse city. That's what I kind of think is, you know, maybe within our mission, we want to set up an organizational framework and set ourselves up for success. But while we do that, maybe to think about and everybody can reflect and say, these are one or two issues that really matter to me, and I think we should really hone in on those. And then maybe we'll see some consensus and we can move forward on really using 2023 and 2024 to really be the champions within the city infrastructure, the city governance for those issues.
Awesome. Thank you so much for sharing. I would like to next move to First Vice Chair Sanchez.
Thank you. Hi, everybody. I just want to ask in terms of moving forward. I agree. I think it would be a good exercise, and then also, of course, a good conclusion to have a statement. But just thinking about process, maybe this is where can we suggest maybe the staff come back to suggest the process? Should we talk about the process now? I don't think we have to make a final decision, but something to start thinking about in terms of process. How to make this happen?
Yeah, I'd be happy to come back with a suggested process in the next meeting. In fact, I could probably email something to the executive team to have them look at the process, because we have to abide by the Brown Act, but I have some ideas on how we could overcome that. And I'd be happy to make some suggestions.
Okay, awesome. And then Executive Director, I also know you had your hand raised. I don't know if you would like to speak regarding this issue further.
Yeah, I probably should say this in my executive director's report, but because Commissioner Zalin said we should pick one or two issues, I wanted to let everyone know that the Climate Equity LA community design team, which is made up of mostly frontline community members, has picked the area of climate adaptation and extreme heat for this year. It was community climate resilience and building decarbonization last year. And then this year it's going to be those two very broad topics. So we do have an exercise that that brings in the community voices and gives us direction on what to focus on. So maybe there's a way that we can tie in that process to the work of the commission if you want to be grounded in what the community voices are recommending. But I can speak more to that when I give my executive director's report.
Awesome. Thank you so much. At this current time, I do not see any other raised hands. So I just would like to thank all of you. Thank you, commissioners, executive director, Segura. We will continue this discussion at a future meeting. And so now we can move to the next agenda item. But before we do that, I'd like to say, yes, I know that there are so many ideas regarding this effort, this agenda item. And so I believe that this is where we're going to make sure that the equity piece is there, that we have the proper community engagement and those grassroots things that a majority of us are familiar with. And those are the spaces that we do a lot of advocacy and work in. And so I'm just looking forward to that. And the process, I do agree with the retreat. And so when we do get back on that item with the follow-up, I would like to know the true limitations of what we can and cannot do. And then I believe this will also be a good segue into the capacity building that we discussed as well. And so I'm looking forward to that. Thank you. And so our next agenda item is agenda item number 6, the discussion of amendments to the Adopted Commission Administrative Rules and Procedures. So here, the commission will now, this is a discussion only item. And so we will now discuss amending the administrative rules and procedures section on attendance, officers and meetings, agendas, and order of business. The commission will now discuss topics including meeting times and frequency, attendance, and excusal of absences for emergencies. So now I would like to open the floor for commissioners to discuss.
President Badesio, just a couple sentences on context. So basically, I think it was discovered by a few commissioners that the admin rules were created before the commission was established. So it's really an opportunity to look again at the administrative rules, see if there are things there that you would rather change and have them reflect the actual operations of the commission that you'd like to see. And I'm trying to think of an example, but basically, yeah, there's an opportunity here to modify the admin rules to customize it to this particular commission. I don't know if the city attorney would like to say a couple of words regarding this topic.
At this point, there's really not much for me to say other than, these administrative rules aren't, they're not set in stone, so to speak. It's the commission has discretion as to whether or not, they want to amend any of these rules. They're not really based on any, state or local statutory laws. There is a process for amending them. At this point, since it's not on the agenda, we can't take action to make any changes, but this is an opportunity for everyone to discuss, if maybe at a future meeting, you want to take action to change some of the administrative processes, such as the frequency of meetings or protocols for absences and things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yes, Commissioner Padilla, I yield the floor to you.
I was just wondering if those sort of things can maybe also be discussed at a potential retreat type meeting that, is in line with all of the Brown Act requests. But it just sounds like this is a group that needs a lot of consensus building before moving forward on topics.
So I will say that, with respect to retreats, I know we were just, the group was brainstorming before, but we do need to be mindful of the Brown Act. So, if, any meeting of a quorum of commissioners will have to be, properly noticed and agendized and accessible to the public. So, when the public will have to have the opportunity to attend. That also means if we do reconvene in person, then that means that the commission has decided that it is now under AB 361, it no longer needs to meet remotely due to the ongoing public health crisis. So, those are just things that we need to be mindful of. That unfortunately,
Right. Commissioner Padilla.
Yeah, I just along those lines, I just want to tell the commission that it's not an impossible task. I did it with the Women and Girls Initiative when I was at the county. We made it public. We met in a public ADA accessible location. And we did have in attendance one of the constituents that's at every single LA County meeting. Maybe some of you guys know her, Genevieve Bombiev. She came. She spoke during public comment. She heard our entire retreat. It is not impossible. So just kind of wanted to throw it out there. You can host it at the Cal Endowment. There is plenty of places in LA where this is possible. And it's never a bad thing to have the public present. And I think a lot of organizers in this space agree with that.
Yes, thank you very much for your comments, Commissioner Padilla. Now we have Commissioner Zellin. I yield the floor to you.
Yeah, I just want to echo Commissioner Padilla and state that, I think this could be a really successful thing. I had, and I think it is important to do it, just like Commissioner Padilla said, we can do it at the Cal Endowment Building. We have, we could do it at a number of city facilities, city buildings. We could even do it at an inside-outside building if we wanted to do it. That is one of the benefits of our great city, that you have weather that you can meet outside year round. But I did have a question for our city attorney. I've been involved with other commissions and boards, and following AB 361. If once you meet in person once, from my understanding, it doesn't end everything and you can't go back. It's not a box. It's not a box that you can't go back into. I just don't. I look to you for more clarity.
Yeah, no, unfortunately, we're not clear about that either. It's kind of what how general counsel has interpreted it, and there is actually currently ongoing litigation on this very issue on what it means if a commission or committee meets in public. Does that end? Is it possible to kind of restart the AB 361 process? Because are we saying that if we're meeting in person this one time, then there's no longer this ongoing public health crisis? Unfortunately, there isn't precedent because there's active litigation. So there is that. There's a risk, and that if we do try and reconvene the virtual meetings under AB 361, it could be subject to challenge. It's happening in real time. This is kind of uncharted territory.
Yeah.
So we don't know. It's just a risk we need to be mindful of.
President Badejo, I have one more comment to make on the retreat option, and then we can move on if we're ready for that. What I was envisioning is maybe splitting up the commission into 3 groups, because you mentioned that you wanted community members there. So it's like a representation of your body in these 3 separate groups. And so that doesn't violate the Brown Act, but it's still a conversation. And then we bring these 3 separate groups of commissioners and community back to a noticed meeting, and then you discuss the results of all those 3 separate meetings. So that way there's no need to be concerned about AB 361 as we further discuss, you know, the directions for these topics like mission statement, administrative rules, etc. So just putting that out, there's another potential option, but it's just, you know, maybe we can discuss it more in the executive team and bring it back so that we have a more clear direction from all of you as soon as we've all had a chance to think about those options.
Yes, thank you, commissioners and executive director, city attorney, for this discussion. And what I would also like to remind everyone on is the reality that now we are able to get to the point of having our committees. Like, let's think about the committees that we want to create and the process that will allow us to do the work that we have all signed up to do, so we can have clarity in our processes and our framework. So I'm looking forward to that. So now I don't see any more hands. I would like to close that agenda item and move to item number 7, which is new business. And so here, I would like to know, does any commissioners, do you have anything that you would like to propose, any new items for the next agenda meeting? And then also, as I ask this, I would like clarity on what process are we going to use to collect the ideas? Are we just going to do it here in the meetings, or can they email the things they would like to be on the agenda?
As the executive director of the commission, I can volunteer we could do a survey. We could do one-on-one meetings. We could do group meetings with less than quorum. And so those are some ways we can obtain this kind of information as a follow-up. And I could maybe start with the survey, so I can ask all of you how you would prefer to be contacted, so that we can do a little bit more digging on next steps. Does that make sense? Or one of you can probably make a motion here and make a recommendation on the options that you'd like for me to use.
Didn't raise my hand, but can I speak? I think you're muted, President.
Yes, you have the floor.
Okay, yeah, I was just gonna say, I think it is best if maybe we just email you, Martha, some bullet points. I've kind of made a list right now. It looks like it's mission statement, admin rules, committees, just the whole, as things come up. I think we just host a retreat, and I don't know, maybe within your internal team, or maybe just calling folks, you can find out what the format of the potential retreat would look like. Like, is it going to be breaking up into 3 groups with these 3 topics that you kind of have in mind? Like, so, but I think the first step is everybody email out concrete topics. I mean, you mentioned also, and I don't catch who you said mentioned these, but it was climate adaptation and extreme heat, right? Like, is there more than just those 2 things? So, and who else is the stakeholder that people are going to for this type of thing? Maybe you could discuss that too. But it just sounds like we're sending you stuff right now.
Okay, great. Yeah, no, I definitely welcome your emails and your recommendations, but maybe what I'll do, President Badejo, is put it in a format and send it out either as a survey or in bullet points, so that you have clarity on what we're seeking recommendations for. And then I'll pull that all together as a start, and then we can move forward from there. I think I want to personally want to noodle on the next steps in terms of a potential in-person meeting, weigh the pros and the cons of both of those different models to ensure that we have the capacity to create that, environment for a good retreat or a good conversation as a follow-up. So I will definitely be letting you all know what the options are for meeting in person and having this discussion. But I'll start with the survey and with an outline. That's my recommendation.
Okay, I don't see any more raised hands for this item. And so I did hear the retreat come back up again. And so definitely with the survey, I would like to work with you if possible. On the survey, because I believe there's a certain way that we need to design and develop it. So it just won't be crazy. We want to make sure that we have order with it, because I see it can go many ways, and I prefer to have that process right on the front end. And so also with the retreat, we're saying in person, but I've also seen some very successful online retreats as well. And I think that we'll have more control too, in a way, when it goes to like a breakout room. And we could control the number of commissioners in each room. I think that's if the in-person doesn't work out, we'll still have, something that we can do that'll be concrete and sufficient. So thank you all very much for all of your discussion relative to this item. And we didn't have any motions or anything so this one was a discussion. No more raised hands. So we can now move to agenda item number 8, which is the executive director's report. Executive Director Segura.
Thank you. I'm looking for the report. So basically, this executive director's report was sent to the Environment, Climate, the ECHR committee. It's for their discussion tomorrow. At the moment, I don't know if that meeting will be taking place. I heard that the council had a vote on a president today, or decide on a president today, before those committees were back on. But basically, I want to give you the summary of the executive director's report, which is publicly noticed, which is online, and which is available. And we can also email it to you if we haven't already. So basically, what the contents of the report included is the change to my position, or addition to my position, that is, because I'm still the director of the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office, but I'm also the chief heat officer, and I'm also the executive director of this commission. So currently I have those 3 separate roles. And as we've all learned, we had a very historic heat wave, and it was, in my perspective, really one of the most successful responses that the city has had to a heat wave, because we were able to increase our cooling centers from 6 to 16, and we made available all of our public libraries, so 73 public libraries. And in addition to that, we have more cooling bus shelters and hydration stations that we put into Cool Spots LA. So just kind of a little update and news flash on some of the things that we're doing in the role of chief heat officer and our heat initiative. We have a long way to go, and I hope to be reporting on that in the future. We're going to be releasing a lot of this information in our newsletter. As you know, we launched our website, and that's another place that you're going to be able to find information and updates regarding the role of CMO and the chief heat officer. And as you know, you voted on the building decarbonization report, and that, if all goes well, we'll be seeing tomorrow in council, and I will be presenting the report that you all approved at the last commission meeting. In addition to that, we wanted to clarify that we wanted to clarify to the council, not to you, about your advisory powers to the city council. So just kind of reminding them what your role is, particularly as it pertains to the equitable building decarbonization report. And then in addition to that, we included the comments that were provided by the commissioners regarding the equitable building decarbonization report. Rebecca, can you please remind me if we sent this to the commissioners?
Yes, I mentioned it in my email that I sent out for the reminder. However, I'm more than happy to provide the specific council file and information. And Executive Director Segura, I just want to mention the Energy, Climate Change, Environmental Justice and River Committee meeting is scheduled for Thursday, October 20th.
Oh, Thursday, October 20th.
At 10 a.m. And would be happy to distribute the information for the meeting and for the council file in which the report and recommendations appear.
That's right. Yeah, tomorrow's our other retreat. Wonderful. Thank you. So with that, I think that that's kind of the end of the report, but if you have any questions, I'd be happy to take them now. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Executive Director, for your report. And so if we do not have any questions,
President Badejo, Commissioner Mejia's hand is up.
oh, they're so sorry.
One more, Ms. President. Yeah, so I was sorry to be a little bit behind. When we last met, when we recommended the report, we discussed that there was the opportunity for commission members to make additional comments, and that those comments would be submitted with the report to the council by the executive director in some kind of supplemental form. Was that done, or like did we take steps on that? Did you do a transcribing of the words, or did you just like summarize, or how was that assembled?
Yeah, Rebecca on my team did a precise transcribing of the words that were said during the commission meeting. We showed that to the individuals that made those recommendations for the council, and then we put it into a report for the council and for the committee. So that's exactly what happened, right? We went back and listened to the meeting. We made sure that it was accurate. We checked it with the city attorney as well, and the executive team. So yes, those comments did go to the council, and that's why I wanted to make sure that all of you got that or received that executive director's report, because that's in there. That is in the executive director's report.
Oh, okay. I did make some oral comments, and I wasn't sure if they made it in there. I didn't receive any communications after the meeting.
I don't. Rebecca, could you do me a favor and let's see, you can't put the executive director's report in the chat space, right? Or can you?
Yes, there's not a chat space here, but I'm happy to send out that the council file and report link momentarily if you'd like to see that, Commissioner Mejia.
Thank you very much.
Awesome. Thank you so much for your discussion. Okay, I don't see any more raised hands. Anyone else? Okay, I just wanted to make sure. And so if there are no announcements from the staff or commissioners, we can.
I actually do have an announcement. I wanted to thank Michelle Sangalang for her years of service to the city of Los Angeles, for all the contributions that she's given to the Climate Emergency Mobilization Office. She has let me know that she is moving on to work on a national campaign for healthy soil. So I wanted to express my gratitude to Michelle and in front of everybody here and the public, so that she knows how much we appreciate her support.
Thank you so much, Executive Director. It's like you took the words right from my mouth. And I just want to personally thank you too, Ms. Sangalang. We appreciate you. And I hope that the void that is filled is just as good as you. You helped us with our capacity and our communications and everything. So thank you for your service.
Great. And I should have brought this up earlier, but I do want to point out that the next meetings are in November and December. We will obviously be avoiding holidays. You should have those on your calendar already. There is an option, if everybody's super busy, to do the quick AB 361 findings and make them shorter meetings. I guess at this point, it's hard to make a motion, right, to the attorney, or could they?
I'm sorry, what would the motion be for?
Well, instead of having a regular meeting in November or December, for them to consider whether they want just AB 361 findings for November or December. And I guess I'm only stating that in the context that I just realized Michelle won't be with us after this meeting, and we can make it. We can definitely still have regular meetings, but it's going to be more of a challenge for just me and Rebecca to have a full-fledged regular meeting.
I mean,
and it's the holidays.
They're already scheduled. So I think, I mean, if they're only 3 minutes long, just for the sake of making the findings for AB 361, then we don't need to change anything. I mean, we do need to have them.
Okay.
Yeah. So I think we can just leave them as status quo, and if they're only 3 minutes long, then, makes everyone's lives a bit easier.
Okay. So, all right, I'll defer to the executive team when we meet again to make that decision. Okay, perfect. Well, thank you, everyone. We really appreciate your presence today, especially noticing how busy everybody is and how chaotic things are. We particularly appreciate your time, and I look forward to working on all of these items with everyone here. So thank you so very much.
Thank you.
Yes, thank you. Thank you so much. And so I guess we will move
Did
now.
we have a motion to adjourn?
Yeah, no, we have to adjourn.
The word, you guys are just taking the words right from Thank you so much. So now our final item is adjournment. And so the commission's next scheduled meeting will be for November 15th, 2022 at 1 p.m. Take care, everyone, and thank you so much for your service and your dedication.
Do we need a second to that motion? No, we're good. All right. Thank you very much. Bye,
Thank you.
everyone. Take care. Thank you.